Welcome. For those who I've not met before, my name is Joe Kadravic. I'm the CEO of Cobalt Blue. I'm an engineer by background. I'm the ex-head of resources at Deutsche Bank. I've had 10 years as a hedge fund manager investing in advanced material and in particular energy storage. I've been the CEO of Cobalt Blue since 2016, and as a company, Cobalt Blue has been listed since 2017. Our project, the Broken Hill Cobalt Project, is approaching DFS stage, which we hope to deliver by late next year. Let's talk about the project. The Broken Hill Cobalt Project is the largest greenfield cobalt project in the world, ex-Africa. We're located in the safe and stable jurisdiction of Australia. Nominally, the project will produce 4,000 tonne of cobalt in a high-value intermediate product, such as an MHP, a mixed hydroxide, or an end battery precursor product, such as a cobalt sulfate. In other words, we're an integrated mine refinery looking to extract the margin of cobalt across the price cycle. The capital intensity of the project is some US $100,000 per tonne of cobalt produced per annum, which makes it about a third to a quarter the capital intensity of other cobalt greenfield projects globally. Why is that? Simply put, we're commercialising one metal locked up in one mineral, and hence our processing plant is very much reduced. We're a primary cobalt project with some 80% of our revenue coming from cobalt, with the balance from elemental sulfur. There is no copper, there's no nickel byproduct, and as a result, we won't be swung in or out of production based on those metal pricings. We're targeting a $10 US per pound C1 cash cost. So as a cobalt miner, that puts us in the lowest quartile for cash costs globally amongst our peer group. To date, we've attracted a cornerstone investor in LG International, which is the sister company of the largest battery maker in the world. They're a shareholder, and we currently enjoy a very close relationship with them. Mitsubishi Corporation has come on board as a supply partner, and Sojitz Corporation more recently has allowed us to name them as a cobalt sample partner. Let's look at the project itself. It's located next to its namesake township of Broken Hill, which is an established mining town of some 20,000 people, clearly a town with a long history of mining. All of the major cost lines that tend to dictate mining and refining costs are located in reference on this slide. People and appropriate housing and infrastructure can be found in Broken Hill. Power, we're located next to a mains power substation, or what the Australians call the NEM, the National Electricity Market. So the project will have access to wholesale power. Water, we have pre-allocated 1.5 gig of raw water in place. The offtake to that is just to the western side of the town. Rail, a railway line passes through the tenement and within 2 kilometres of the deposits. That'll be used for all of our heavy lifting, both in and out of the mine. And road passes within 3 kilometres of the tenements. So our people, their daily commute will be a 30-minute commute or so to work. Let's look at some of our achievements to date. So we delivered a scoping study in 2017. A PFS was delivered in 2018. We moved to full project ownership in 2019. And as I mentioned, we've had significant success in corporate partnerships with the likes of LG, Mitsubishi, and more recently Sojitz. We've had tremendous support from the Australian government with various collaborative projects. The Australian government has funded over $2 million to date to progress our cobalt extraction processing, and it has, as they recognise, it has significant potential for broader Australian rollout. We're also part of the FBI, the Future Battery Industry CRC, which is an Australian government project in collaboration with battery material suppliers in Australia. Our focus is on whether we can make a battery precursor in Australia. Let's look at our timeline. Near term, we hope to build and commission a pilot plant with first product by year end. We're looking to make 100 to 200 kilogram of MHP or cobalt sulfate for global partner testing. To date, we have some 10 partners wanting product from this milestone. Beyond that, we'll build a larger scale demonstration plant, a 24/7 operation from which we'll make 2 to 3 tonne of MHP or cobalt sulfate. This will allow our project partners to sample up to 200 kilograms of product from which they can make test batteries. Thus, as part of that test battery program, COB hopes to pre-qualify as a supplier to battery makers of tomorrow. Now, just take a moment to think about that. We're a small Australian company looking to pre-qualify as a supplier of choice to some of the biggest battery makers in the world, and we hope to achieve that milestone before we reach FS. We're also aiming to have EIS and other approvals by late 2021, along with final technical studies as part of the DFS, all due by early 2022, at which point we'll be ready for a final investment decision. In parallel, the project will qualify as a state significant development and all of its various fast-track approvals. So I thank you very much for your time. Let me leave you with some contacts. My name again is Joe Kazravic. My email and phone are on the page. My executive manager, Andrew Tong, has an email on the page as well. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you virtually at the conference. Thank you.